this note lays out in great detail a case for Apple making a big impact and a whole lot of revenue in healthcare. The part about it that gave me pause is that a lot of this seems to center on the idea of Apple becoming a central repository for health information. And that's something that it seems to me the company has shied away from up to this point. They don't want to hold people's valuable personal information. They want it to reside on their devices only. Does Apple have to change that for the high end of your potential projection here to bear out?
It's an important point. Tim Cook has made it almost the company's mission to be a steward of consumers' data. And so if there's any technology company today that's well positioned to pull this off and build the trust of healthcare institutions and consumers, it is Apple.
You point to wearables as the most likely money-making area for Apple when it comes to healthcare. So what do you think is the pace of new product announcements, specifically in the healthcare area, that you would need to see for Apple to hit that $91 billion healthcare revenue 8 years from now that you
Sure.
said is your midpoint?
Yeah, so I would say wearables is the most near term, not necessarily the largest driver. The largest would be services over time. Apple has almost 60% revenue share in wearables today, and we expect that to migrate not just from your wrist, but to your ear with AirPods, sensors added into AirPods over time, and more wearables. We think new sensors like blood pressure, blood glucose, sleep pattern measurements are key to expanding the wearables portfolio over time.
Katy, I know you don't cover Amazon, but you got this big report in the Journal today, which is outlining the Amazon Alexa push to transfer sensitive personal health information using software that they have, the ability to do this under federal law now. In general, when you're looking at Apple versus other emerging competitors in this marketplace in terms of transforming healthcare, how are you assessing that competition, and is there room for everybody?
But yeah, the way we think about it is this is a $3.5 trillion market just in the U.S. A third of that is wasted spend, and it's that wasted spend that technology companies are going after. And it won't just be one technology company that disrupts, it'll likely be many. Some are advantaged in AI technologies, others in voice, and still others in cloud. When I think about Apple's advantage beyond consumer brand, as well as a massive installed base, it's engagement of the user base. It's important to know that Apple users spend 10 times Android users on services. Apple has proven its ability to partner with the healthcare industry. It has scaled electronic health records. As I said, it's become a steward of data. So there's a lot of advantages that Apple has, but it's not to say that they'll be the only winner in healthcare.
Katy, I don't know if we've asked you yet about the impact longer term of 5G on Apple, on the phone cycle, on semis, on just sort of the evolution of hardware once that thing is truly widespread.
Yeah. So near term, tactically, I would say that iPhone data points are stabilizing. We've published that we've seen the data in China improve after price decreases. So that is good for the stock in the near term. Longer term, we believe Apple sees 5G as a huge opportunity. 5G phones cost significantly more money. Apple historically, for that reason, has been late to market on new communications technologies, because if you're going to pass the higher price on to consumers, the benefit needs to be there. The networks need to be built out. So we do think that 5G is a big product cycle for iPhone, but it's not necessarily near term.
And Katy, does that bear out this cycle as well? Because as you mentioned, Apple has not rushed to get the latest wireless network technology into its phones as quickly as possible. We are starting to see 5G phones come to market. Apple continues to have this boxing match with Qualcomm, which is very much 5G relevant. Does it matter whether Apple has a 5G phone before the fall of 2020?
Well, from an investor standpoint, the market tends to anticipate a product cycle 9 to 12 months ahead of time. So by the time we get to December or January, the market is going to be looking forward to a potential September 2020 launch of 5G. Again, the new 5G phones will cost more money, right? Which will advantage Apple from a price standpoint. That has been a pushback of investors, that their products are much more expensive. I would expect that gap to close as others bring 5G to market as a marketing tool. But Apple again is going to wait until the technology is ready and has impact on the usability of the phone.
Katy, what did you think of the services announcements from a couple of weeks ago, especially in a week where we're going to see what could be a potential competitor, Disney, have their investor meeting and likely more details about their streaming service as well?
Yeah. The most important takeaway for me was the breadth of partners that were willing to sign on for Apple services. As you know, there's a debate around Apple's defensibility of their take rates. And, the fact that you had very big names signing up to share profits with Apple speaks to the fact that iOS and the App Store is really the only path to market for those that want scale. An Apple iOS user spends 10 times an Android user on apps. Is engaged 2 times or more than an Android user. And so it's that user base that those partners want access to. And so for me, that was the takeaway, just the sheer breadth of the video and the news and the gaming partners that were willing to sign on.